have this physiological ticket to eternity, that would be addictive.
All right. All
Hi,
right.
Albert.
How you doing, Mike?
I'm great, man.
That's great. So, we're gonna talk about Freediver. It's this great documentary about Alexey Mol. I'm gonna try to pronounce his name, Molchanov. Molchanov.
You nailed it.
And
You got it.
there we go. And his attempt to break 5 world records. I mean, that's insane. Even the idea of free diving is quite insane. I mean,
Yeah, there's layers of insanity within this film. Yes.
so my first question is, what inspired you to take on the story of Alexei and his attempts to break all these free diving records?
Yeah, so there's an article in GQ that came out a few years ago, and it came across some of my friends in Los Angeles came across it, specifically the folks at Boardwalk Pictures, who I'm really tight with, and they sent it to me. They said, "Hey, do you want to make a movie out of this? Because if you do, we do." And I said, "Yeah." Well, I read the article, and like my mouth was falling open as I was reading the article, and I said, "This sounds really hard, really challenging. What a interesting character to have to portray or to get to portray." What an insane sport to have to figure out how to document. A lot of this movie happens very deeply underwater. It's about as hard as it gets for photography, frankly, or anything, unless you're like a whale. That's pretty easy. But so it felt like a big challenge. It felt like a great story, and I told them, "Yeah, let's go ahead and let's get into it." And then we dug in.
That's awesome. Yeah, I found that very interesting because as I was hearing about the film, I wanted to know who Alexey Molchanov was before seeing the film in a way. And I find it fascinating that his mother was a free diver herself, Natalia Molchanova. And what happened in 2015, I think it's like very haunting. I mean, she just goes on she went on this dive in Spain, and that's it. She's like the Amelia Earhart of our millennial, because she's never been found. She's never, I mean, it's just, and it makes you wonder, like, why would Alexei try to do these, it makes you wonder, why would he do these world records? Is it like to help him overcome maybe the fear of what happened to his mom? And that's what I found fascinating about it, like just to try to understand his psyche. Like, why would he do, like, no, knowing what his mother went through, why would he do, attempt to do all this?
Yeah, it's a great question. And there's a world where I'm not sure Alexei knows anything else than this, right? Like, he started doing this at a really young age. And look, there's a world, for free diving. What happened in Natalia, of course, and it's not just that she was a free diver. She's the most decorated free diver of all time. She kind of put the sport on the map in a meaningful way. And I think people started looking at what happened there and said, well, if it can happen to Natalia, like, what are we doing? And there's been new protocols put in place and all that, but you're still holding your breath and going down hundreds of feet underwater. It's still a very dangerous sport. There are no scuba divers who can save you because, one, they can't go that deep, and two, they can't bring you up fast enough to save your life because they'll get the bends. So it still is a very, very high risk sport. But I think for Alexei, he just doesn't know anything else, and he deeply loves the sport. And I think he probably believes that his mother wouldn't want him to stop, and I'm not sure he's wrong. And so I think he's trying to take the learnings of what happened and still trying to do the thing that he knows best and that he's the best at, and honor her legacy at the same time.
I agree. And I like the fact that when you get to see it, like you mentioned, the cinematography, like how you gonna shoot that deep underwater. I love that you get to see his point of view as he's going down. I think that I love that type of, like, you're seeing it from the first person point of view. And I think that's fascinating. How did you achieve that, knowing you're going to be so deep underwater? Like, how was that achieved in terms of the cinematography?
Yeah, I'm very, very, very proud of the cinematography in this film. Shout out to my director of photography, Jeff Peterman. Like I said, it's about as hard as it gets. That first big dive in the movie happened. He's setting a world record, right? He's not going to do it twice. There's no redoing the thing, right? Like, if he does it once, it's a miracle almost. So you really can't miss the shot. And then the shot is really hard to get because it's 512 feet underwater. So we did a lot of planning. We combined some existing technologies that had not really been combined before, in order to sort of make this film look like nothing that's ever been filmed before, because you've never seen freediving in the way that it's captured in this film. It just hasn't happened until this film. And so it was meticulous planning, a really good team. We have underwater like robot drones. We have a really incredible scuba team. Shout out to Tommy V and Peter Grimes for their incredible work on this project. And so they're doing a lot of the lower, the top third of his dive is happening with the scuba team. And then there's cameras, there's a cable camera. A company called Dive Eye has a cable camera. It's built specifically for freediving, and we upgraded their systems because they were kind of, we wanted it to look better. So we helped upgrade their system, and then we brought in a brand new system for the bottom of the line, which is this robotic camera called Boxfish. And like I said, used a concert of different technologies to film something that is really, really hard to film. We didn't want to just use a GoPro because this is a movie, not I don't want to be disrespectful of like GoPro, because GoPro is an incredible tool, but that's not what I was going for here. I wanted this to be a movie, not a GoPro video. And so we really just raised the bar on the way this sport was photographed. And luckily I was able to build a team that could help me achieve that.
That's fascinating. Were there any difficulties in terms of the technological aspects that you faced during filming of the documentary? Like, like when cameras went wrong, or you feel like you couldn't get the shots right. Did you face any of that during the filming of this?
Yeah. There's one record that I didn't know if we were gonna get it, because it like that cable cam was starting to like fail. We got really lucky and got it, but there was multiple times, and I'm a very calm person by nature. This is why I'm good at my job, is I can walk into pretty dramatic situations and stay calm and focused. But and I didn't freak out, but I was like, we're not going to get this. Like, we're not going to get this world record attempt. But we pulled it off. But yeah, this film is about, certain parts just on a technical level, we were going by the skin of our teeth to pull it off, even though we'd done a lot of prep and we had a really great team. It's just that hard to shoot a film like this.
Well, I think you pulled it off nicely with this one, and I'm hoping people will get to see it when it comes out and get to see
this weekend, Saturday.
Yeah, it's out this Saturday, and people who've never seen freediving before, I think they should try to get a first-hand experience at this, especially seeing a guy like Alexey, who's willing to honor his mom's legacy by diving down and breaking all these world records. And with that said, what's next for you? Are you working on another documentary after this, or something in the works?
No, I'm already almost wrapped production on my next thing. I'm not allowed to talk about it, but I'll say it's for one of the best networks in the world. It's a pretty big one. And so I think it might be announced maybe next month. We'll see.
Awesome.
The series, the doc series.
Cool. All right, everyone, check out Freediver this Saturday. It is a fantastic documentary about one man's attempt to break world records and to honor his mom's legacy. And Michael, thank you so much for making this film, and I can't wait to see what's next from you.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it, and thanks for getting the word out. This film means a lot to me, so I really appreciate you helping us get the word out.
No problem. Well, you stay awesome as always. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye.